January 2026. A systems software engineer at NVIDIA publishes a Python server on GitHub. 47 lines of proxy logic. It takes Claude Code, Anthropic's $100 a month coding agent, and reroutes every single API call to free providers. 4 months later, 30,000 stars, 4,000 forks, 32 contributors. The fastest growing Claude tool that Anthropic didn't build, and the default provider it routes to. NVIDIA's own inference platform. This isn't a hack. This is an industry chess move. And whether you use it or not, understanding why it exists tells you everything about where AI coding agents are heading. Let's open the hood. Free Claude Code is a fast API server running on your machine. When you launch Claude Code through it, three environment variables change. Your base URL points to localhost instead of Anthropic. Your IUTs token becomes a local pass-through. And your compaction window expands. That's it. Claude Code boots normally. Same CLI, same slash commands, same tool use, same file edits. But every request that would hit Anthropic's servers hits the proxy instead. The proxy has a model router. You configure which backend handles which tier. Opus tier requests go to NVIDIA Nemotron. Sonnet tier goes to DeepSeek. Haiku tier goes to Grok for speed. And before any request leaves your machine, 5 optimization handlers intercept the trivial ones. Quota checks, handled locally. Title generation, returned instantly. File path extraction, parsed without an API call. These save latency and quota on the housekeeping that Claude Code does behind the scenes. Requests you never even see. 17 providers, but only 4 matter. First, NVIDIA NIM, free tier. Nemotron supermodel, 40 requests per minute. This is the default, and it's the strongest free option for complex coding tasks. Second, Google AI Studio, Gemini 2.5 Flash. Generous free tier, good for fast iteration. Third, DeepSeek V3 model, free API access, surprisingly capable on multi-file refactors. Fourth, Grok, Llama models at absurd speed. Best for the Haiku tier where you want instant responses on simple tasks. The other 13, Mistral, Cerebrus, Fireworks, Olama for local models, are niche. Most users never touch them. The proxy lets you mix and match. Route your Opus requests to the smartest free model. Route your Haiku requests to the fastest. Per tier routing is the feature that makes this more than just a redirect. Now let's talk about what nobody's saying out loud. Ali Khokhar is a systems software engineer at NVIDIA. His tool, which 30,000 developers now depend on, routes them by default to NVIDIA NIM, NVIDIA's inference platform. Free tier today, paid tier tomorrow. This is the classic platform playbook. Give away the on-ramp, build the habit, monetize later. And it's brilliant because the developer doesn't feel sold to. They feel liberated. They went from paying Anthropic $100 a month to paying nothing. The fact that their requests now flow through NVIDIA's infrastructure feels like a bonus, not a trap. It's the same move Google pulled with Android. Give away the operating system. Own the services underneath. NVIDIA is giving away inference to own the developer workflow underneath. Whether Ali built this as a side project or a strategic signal, the effect is the same. 30,000 Claude Code users just became NVIDIA NIM users for free, for now. Setting it up takes 60 seconds. 3 steps. Step 1, install the package. Pip install free Claude Code. Step 2, run the server. FCC server start. This launches the Fast API proxy on port 8082 and opens an admin UI in your browser. Step 3, launch Claude Code through the proxy. FCC Claude. That's the wrapper command that sets the 3 environment variables and spawns the real Claude process. The admin UI at localhost 8082/admin lets you configure providers, paste API keys, and set per tier model routing. No .env editing required. One thing to know, it requires Python 3.14. That's bleeding edge. Most systems ship 3.12 or 3.13. You might need to install Python 3.14 first, which adds 2 minutes to the setup. Here's what the 30,000 stars don't tell you. You get Claude's hands, not Claude's brain. And the brain matters more than you think. Simple tasks, file renames, boilerplate generation, straightforward refactors. Free works perfectly. The proxy handles tool use, streaming, and code edits identically. You won't notice a difference. But complex tasks, multi-file architecture decisions, subtle debugging, understanding implicit project conventions. This is where Claude Opus and Sonnet earn their price. Free models hallucinate more. They miss context across files. They suggest solutions that compile but don't actually fix the problem. And there's a deeper issue. Claude Code's system prompts are optimized for Claude models. The instructions, the tool use patterns, the thinking format, all designed for Claude's specific behavior. A different model interprets those prompts differently. Sometimes that means slightly worse tool selection. Sometimes it means completely ignoring a constraint. The proxy translates the API format, but it can't translate the reasoning. This tool answers a question Anthropic hoped nobody would ask. Is Claude Code's value in the model or the interface? 30,000 developers just voted. They said the interface, the CLI, the file editing protocol, the tool use framework, the permission system, the agentic loop. That's the product. The model is a swappable component. And that should terrify Anthropic. Because if Claude Code is just a front end, then any model can power it. And any company with a free inference tier can undercut Anthropic's pricing to zero. Today, it's a side project by one NVIDIA engineer. Tomorrow, it could be an official integration. NVIDIA NIM as a first-class Claude Code backend. Google Gemini with a one-click proxy. OpenAI models through the same interface. The Moat Anthropic thought they had, the bundled model plus interface lock-in that just got a 30,000 star hole in it. So what do you actually do with this? Here's the playbook. Move 1. Use free for exploration. When you're spiking an idea, testing a pattern, generating boilerplate, free is perfect. Save your Anthropic credits for the real work. Move 2. Use paid for production. When you're debugging a critical issue, making architecture decisions, or working on code that ships to customers, pay for Claude. The reasoning gap is real and it costs you more in wasted time than it saves in subscription fees. Move 3. Watch the per tier routing. Set Opus tier to your strongest free model. Set Haiku tier to your fastest. Use the proxy as a cost optimization layer, not a full replacement. Move 4. Monitor NVIDIA's play. When NIEM introduces usage based pricing, and they will, evaluate whether the new price is actually cheaper than Anthropic's. Free today doesn't mean free forever. The developers who treat this as a permanent solution will be surprised. The ones who treat it as a temporary advantage will be ready. An NVIDIA engineer built what Anthropic wouldn't, and 30,000 devs already switched. Whether that's liberation or a different kind of lock in day depends on how clearly you see the chessboard. Comment FREECC below, and I'll send you the free Claude Code Proxy Playbook, the provider ranking, setup commands, and per tier routing config on one page. Bite size AI drops on Instagram. Deep dives here on YouTube. Subscribe early. Win early.